Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, DT Model Art. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and ring the bell for future notifications. I really appreciate the support. Welcome to part 9 of the 1/20th scale SF70H project from Tamiya. And we are moving along fairly quickly. And right now, what I want to explain to you, I didn't get this on video. I am sorry. I apologize to all you guys and gals that are watching. But I built up these side pods here, these pieces here, and detailed them, installed the carbon decals that come with the kit, and got them on the car. And the reason why I didn't video it is because I probably would have had to play music the whole time because of the words that were coming out of my mouth. As many of you that build Tamiya kits out there know, Tamiya is their precision kits, which is a plus. That means everything's going to fit really well. Everything fits really well in these kits, everyone, until you introduce paint. Now, Tamiya and their designers are taking into consideration that the paint you're using is their paints, or something as thin as their paints. And that's not always the case with a lot of builders, including myself. Over the years, I've had problems with Tamiya kits not fitting really precise or exactly per instructions because of paint thickness, especially when it comes to the urethane clears that I use. So that was prevalent here with these side pods here. And they came out nice, but it took a lot of work to get them to this stage that you see here. Now, everything on these side pieces, now, so you know what I'm talking about, it's these here on the sides. It's in step, if you follow along in the instructions for those of you going to build this car, it's step number 10, right? Or I'm sorry, not 10. Sorry, I'm going to head step number 8. Okay, which is actually is installing them. Actually, 9 is installing them. 8 and 7 is building them up. And you can see in the instructions, it shows the left side and the right side, okay, at the bottom there. And I will tell you, if I build the car again, ever, I will install the lower pieces here that you see in the instructions, these guys here, okay, right there. I will install those first, paint them, or install those to the monocoque before I paint everything, and they'll be painted along with it to get them to fit really close and solid without any kind of paint buildup. Because unfortunately there was paint buildup on the sides of the monocoque inside here where these glue in, and I had to grind and remove some of that extra paint to get them to fit really close and nicely, because you have to get these to fit right to get this down the road to fit right. So everything is precise in Tamiya kits, unlike Model Factory Hero kits that I build, where the precision is up to the builder, mainly, to get that precision fit. A lot of pre-fitting. You can do the same thing with Tamiya kits as far as pre-fitting. I tend to trust the Tamiya kits too much, and I just start rolling along, forgetting about paint thickness or paint buildup that you got to deal with. So, with that said, I still accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, which was getting the pieces on correctly. But I will warn you, when you get to this piece, if you're not using super thin paint, if you're using a 2-part urethane clear or anything similar to mine, you might have the same problems. So what I would do for those that are building the kit is I would, like I said, I would build up parts B14, B13 for the left side, and what is it, B15 and B12 for the right side, and of course A19 for the right side, and where is it at? A18 for the left side. Build those 3 parts up for each side, get them glued, cleaned up, then glue those to the side pods of the monocoque, and paint those along with the rest of the car. They'll come out cleaner. Not that mine didn't come out clean, but it'll just be nicer. It'll be all one piece. The more you can sub-assembly or pre-assemble these kits before paint, the better you are, or better off you are. And I'm learning that with this kit. So if I build it again, it'll be a mental note in my mind to add those parts ahead of time. because it just makes it easier for you. So with that said, I wanted to let you know about that, and we're going to move on now. So that assembly is done, and virtually the entire front monocoque is done, except for 2 vents that go right here that get painted black. I haven't done those yet, but you saw the steering wheels in. Everything else is done. It's painted. You know, the front, I added the front. Those are the kit carbon decals. I've added those to both sides of the front shovel area there. The only thing that is needed on the front end of this car now is the front wing, which is a totally separate part I'm going to do later on in the build in another episode. So let's talk about the lower wing here real quick. I did get this in paint. This was done with the Gravity primer, airbrushed, and then I got a little lazy, which is fine. I mean, it worked. I have good luck with this stuff. If any of you out there have ever used it, it's tough to find now. I used to find this at Advanced Auto Parts all the time, which is our local auto parts store, which many of you in many of your states where you live have. But I'm finding Duplicolor is pretty much done now at those places. They sell, I think, Rust-Oleum or some of that stuff, which I'm not a fan of Rust-Oleum at all. But Duplicolor I do like. This stuff here is a semi-gloss, literally a semi-gloss lacquer, acrylic lacquer. It's still hot, like a lacquer, you know, because it is a lacquer. But if you put it over a primer like Gravity, or I think you could put it over Tamiya gray primer, it works really well. It gives you a nice base finish. And this is what I used for the black on the actual undertray. Now, once it dried, I went ahead and I'm basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mask off the wood plank under here that all these cars have. And this, according to the instructions, this gets painted a color that Tamiya makes called buff. I'll use something similar. I don't know what I'm going to use yet. I might use some Mission Models tan, or maybe some Vallejo tan. I don't know, but I'm going to mask this off in our next clip here. Get this shot with an airbrush. Then I'm going to weather a little bit and put some scrape marks against it, because that's what this is for. It's for, you know, they got to make sure that I think they measure the thickness in F1. You guys out there, please put it in the comments below on my video. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's how they measure the height of the car and make sure it's legal by how many millimeters or whatever is gone after a race, to make sure that the car wasn't legally too low during the race and it scraped too many times. So I'm going to undoubtedly put some scrape marks against this as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to mask this off. We're going to spray this with airbrush. You're going to see that in the video here shortly. And then what we're going to do towards the end of this video is start adding the kit carbon fiber decals. When that's done, okay, and it's dried, I'm going to try some new stuff that my buddy Chris Batson sent me. It's this stuff. It's called Flex and Flat. It's like 2-part urethane clear, but it's a flat clear. I've never used it before, and I thought this would be a cool project to try it on. It's a 2-part clear that I think it's 2 parts clear to, or I'm sorry, well, it says here 6 parts of the clear to 1 part reducer and 1 part hardener. Interesting. 6 parts of this stuff instead of a 4 or a 2 to 1. So it's all new to me, so we're going to give this a shot. It's probably not the right project to do this on with a video. Hopefully it doesn't go you know, south on me. But I got confidence in Chris's recommendations, and you can't go wrong with PPG Deltron products. I don't think, never have. So that's what's entailed in this video. So join me next. We're gonna go ahead and mask this off, get it painted, and then you'll meet me back at the bench, and we'll go ahead and get the flat clear prepped up. We'll get that on the wing, and we'll move on from there. So, see you in a bit. Okay, so we got the plank based in the Mission Models tan primer. That's what I decided to use as a base. And the reason why I'm just using it as a base is because I'm going to show you a little trick that I like to do on wood in general. I am not a military builder by no means, but I did a really cool World War I plastic prop for a client once, and he wanted it to have the wood grain effect to it. And I picked this up, off the internet. It's amazing what you can find on other YouTube channels, which is why I'm doing it now, and various other areas and model pages and such. There's some really accomplished military builders out there, and they use a trick where they use oils. Okay, now what I'm using is Winsor and Newton oil color. You don't have to buy the real expensive stuff, but I find this stuff really works well. And I'm going to put a little dab of burnt sienna. And then I'm going to put a little dab of raw umber on this little thing. By the way, you know what this is? I'm sure you guys have gotten concentrated orange juice or lemonade before. Save these. They're great for this type of stuff. They're on the ends of the cans, the concentrate cans. So what I'm going to do as well is mix up a little bit of the raw umber as well with the burnt sienna. I always mix more than I need, unfortunately, because it's just the way it is. Now, thinning this stuff. You can use regular old paint thinner, mineral spirits. I use this stuff. I'm getting low on it, as a matter of fact. It's Abtalung 502 fast dry thinner. This is what a lot of the guys out there in the world that use a lot of oils use, because it dries faster than mineral spirits. Mineral spirits is very oily, obviously for oil paints, but it takes forever to dry. So I squirt some of this here onto this here, and then what we're going to do is just mix it up. And I think we're just going to use, let's use a brush. The best way to mix oil paints is by brush. Mix a little bit together here. You're going to put it over here. You're going to make a solution out of this, a very thin solution, which gives it that dark, oily, woody color that you're looking for. Now, we're not going to apply this to this plank by brush. Here's another trick. If you want to make really controlled wood grain effect, I've learned you can do it with a sponge. So take a piece of just cheap old bath sponge or kitchen sponge, cut you a small piece of it, you dip it in there, and you run it across here. All right, boy, was that fun. After a ton of this stuff, a ton of this, a little bit of microsol, and a lot of heat from my hair dryer here, I finally got these decals to conform. They are not the easiest decals to work with. It just seems like it takes a ton of heat and salt to get them to really conform well to the surfaces, and I had to score a few areas with a sharp knife to get it to kind of suck down. And like I said, lots of heat. This piece here, as everybody should know, is not going to be visible. That's where this rear piece here will sit, is right on that, just about like that. So you won't see that, and then the front monocoque will go in front of there. So anyhow, it is ready for the flex and flat clear coat that I'm going to be using for the first time. And I wanted to also kind of revisit this. I know I said wood a lot in the piece of the video where I was creating this look here with the paint, and on the newer cars, this piece is like a permaglass. It's a permaglass composite of some sort. It's not even wood anymore. It was wood way back in the day, like in the 90s. It was some really exotic wood, as a matter of fact. But the funny thing is, a couple guys on Facebook, I forgot their names, but I wanted to thank them for helping me out and confirming that they sent me a picture, I think, of Alonso's car when he wrecked that one year really bad into the catch fence on the side wall. I forgot what race it was at, but this shows the whole bottom of the car, and that piece, it still looks like wood to me, but it's a yellowish, orangish, tannish composite board. So mine is done the way I like it. So it's really not wood, just so everybody knows. I want to make sure I don't have any purists getting on there and screaming at me saying, hey, it's not wood, it's a composite now. I know back in the day it was, but it's now a permaglass, like, composite board. So anyways, so what we're going to do next is we're going to mix up some of this clear, this flat Deltron clear that was sent to me by Chris Batson. I'm going to add, the neat stuff about it is you can add a little bit of like concept PPG clear. If you want an eggshell finish, you do like a 95% flat to a 5% clear with the hardener and then the reducer, and you shoot 2 coats of this stuff on. It's all new to me, so I'm going to go out in the booth and shoot this thing, and you guys get to watch. And then we'll come back to the bench after it's dried and see how it looks. See you in a bit. Okay, so we're back at the bench now, and I just got done shooting the flat clear. Actually, it was about an hour ago that I shot the flat clear, and I threw it in my dehydrator because I just was dying to see this stuff start to flatten up, and it does flatten up pretty quickly once you add some heat to it. Otherwise, it'll take about 8 hours to cure, just like normal 2-part urethane clear does. It's just that it's a flat base. I added a touch of of gloss to it to give it a little bit of an eggshell, like an eggshell finish. PPG recommends that you do about 95% flat clear to 5% gloss if you want to get like an eggshell finish, plus your 1 part hardener and your 1 part reducer or thinner, so it goes through the airbrush nicely. And I think I pretty much did so. What's neat about it is you could change the sheen and versatility of it with adding more clears. You know, you could do all kinds of different sheens of semi-gloss or semi-flat or eggshell, or just go with the straight stuff and just do it dead flat. I wanted the semi, like the almost like a little bit of an eggshell look, which you can see it's giving me. And there's the top with the all that beautiful carbon fiber decal work that pays off. So I'm really pleased with it, everyone. By the way, I wanted to mention this board again. I know in making of this, you saw the technique I used, which can be used, and it is accurate, I think, as far as how it looks. But these, I did some research, and on the newer cars, these are made out of permaglass. They still kind of look like wood, so if you do the same technique I did, it's kind of, I think it's pretty much appropriate. But they aren't wood anymore. They are actually made out of a material called permaglass, so it's an MDF type composite. I really don't know what they're made of. I'd have to, ask the team if I had access to somebody on the team to ask them. But that's the way I did that. But I wanted everybody to know, to correct myself, that they're not wood like they used to be back in the old days. I think 94 or a little earlier, they started using these planks, or they call them skid plates, I believe. And I think back in the day, they were made out of this stuff called Jabrock, which is like an exotic wood. So really, that's what they are, or were. But now they're made out of a composite. And I read an article that it's permaglass is the name of it. So anyways, want to thank Chris Batson for hooking me up with that Flex and Flat Deltron paint. And I will be using that again very soon on some other projects. But let's take a look at how this looks with the monocoque attached. Check that out, guys and gals. See how cool, you can see the carbon in there, but it's not glossy. It matches this along here. I wanted the sheen on both of them to be exact. And just looking down, you can see the carbon, the strands. That is going to look so cool once this car is finished off. So I'm really pleased with it. So really good stuff. Anyhow, that's going to end this video for today. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below, as I always say, like a broken record. Smash the like button, and please ring the bell so you guys know it when you'll get new notifications when I put up new videos. I appreciate the support. I hope that you all are enjoying these videos. You're getting a lot out of them. Next video, we're going to be working on probably wheels and tires. The rear piece here with the transmission, getting that detailed. We got some gold foil work to do on some of the A-arms. A-arms also, I'm going to be working on those. I want to get those carbon fibered. And then we got the front and rear wings, and then we can start kind of majorly putting all the sub-assemblies together on this thing and finally putting it into one piece. I'm anticipating maybe 3 or 4 more videos on this, and then we can get it buttoned up. But again, I hope you're enjoying them. I thank you for the support, and we will talk to you next time. Take care.